Hopefully the Toronto owner reevaluates his mission, sacks Rowley, and finds some players who want to play rugby and not bend all the rules to get what they want. Championship is going to be very close next year. P.S. Hope Chris Kendall finds his way home okay and the RFL hitmen don't make him go missing in the Canadian wilderness.
POB 1976 is not a classic, but a game that could have gone either way. No tries, 3 successful penalties, and 1 missed means London are back in Super League.
Dr. Hideous said a herd of Broncos fans went to the Old King's Head for the match. During the first long video ref decision, I joked that this was the RFL trying to find a way to give Toronto the try. Oh God, people took me seriously. After that early scare, the Broncos played good rugby, but it could have gone either way at any point. Yet another cracking match in the qualifiers. Going to be a tough next season in Super League.
Yeah, and finally, the last one goes to Genghis Campbell, who says, I didn't want to go to Perpignan in 2019. I hear Featherstone is delightful in March anyway. The MPG is an abomination. Well, they've probably got a Challenge Cup game on you can watch as well. The MPG is an abomination, and you're not a proper LRL fan until it feels like you've been repeatedly hoofed in the nuts. So we're getting there. See you next year. How that feels.
Yeah, do you know what? And Toronto were all class after this game. Even Paul Rowley.
That was the one thing that surprised me, that Paul Rowley did not. I was expecting him to properly go, because I think there was enough in that game that could have sent him over the edge and sent him off on a real classic rant. And it just didn't come. He just almost resigned to it.
There was one crucial call that I think went against the Wolfpack late in the game, kind of very similar to what happened late in the first half. A late tackle off the ball, and the one in the first half was given a sin bin in, and the one in the second half wasn't. And that was questionable, but that's ultimately the referee trying to not be the person who decides the outcome, and I don't think they did, because Toronto certainly had plenty of chances, and the crucial part of this game was Alex Walker's tackle on Blake Wallace.
It's a £1 million tackle.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And Alex Walker was fantastic. He got called out there. 3 other players I would single out as being fantastic in this game was, I always pronounce it wrong, but Mark Ioane. Mark Ioane, who has been outstanding and ever seen him play for the Broncos. If they didn't get up, someone from Super League should have gone after him anyway. And then 2 other homegrown players alongside Alex Walker in Daniel Hindmarsh, who I thought was brilliant.
Loved Daniel Hindmarsh. I mean, partly because he was at Oxford for quite a spell last year, so I know him a bit, and he's an absolutely fantastic lad. He's really, really nice guy, and just blossoming into a brilliant player.
Yeah, and the other person who I would be like absolutely all over actually in this game was Kieran Dixon. Kieran Dixon was... I think that's one of the best games I've seen him have. I just think, we were talking about Lomax before, and I didn't know he had it in him, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know Kieran Dixon had this in him. He put in a few really big hits, but it was more...
He put a proper bosh right towards the end, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, but it's more as well.
It was actually leadership. I think it was leadership.
Yes,
he was bringing other players round with him. It's like, come on, we can do this. Come on, let's do this. Take it up. Every
time the Wolfpack had started to kind of get a bit of territory, force London onto the back heel, and London were coming out at their own end, he was the person jumping in at dummy half to take all the tough carries to get them up the field. And they weren't just the ones he has to take, the first tackle carries and that sort of stuff. It was 2 carries a set sometimes. It was leadership, like you say. It was leadership. It was determination. It showed how much it meant to him to get back into Super League with the London Broncos. And so I was really, really impressed with Kieran Dixon. But Alex Walker is pure class and deserves to play at Super League level. Absolutely.
Another one I'd call out would be Will Lovell. I thought he did well. He took a lot of tough, did really well in defence, and I think he's really come on this season. He's sort of managed to see his injuries off, and he's done. I remember watching him play. I think it might have even still been for Harlequins, if not Broncos, down at the Stoop in one of his early games, if not his debut. And he's been a brilliant player last, this year in particular. And again, fantastic. And another one we've got to mention, we can't not, is Eddie Batty.
Yeah, do you know what? I didn't think he was as good in this game as the others.
I thought he was everywhere. I thought he was I thought he did long minutes, and I thought he was just absolutely everywhere. And I don't know if you saw on a side. Did you see their Mad Monday dressing up for today?
No,
he went as Donald Trump.
That seems fitting. Yeah, that seems.
It just looks fantastic. Yeah.
A word for the Wolfpack and where it went wrong in this game.
Josh McCrone.
Yeah.
Twit. I mean, for one, he knew he wasn't at the races game wise. He was not doing what he can do, and he knew it, and he was getting frustrated and unraveling. And frankly, that he didn't get sin binned was a minor miracle. For walking away, referee gives a penalty against you, walk away shaking your head and yapping on. That should be a sin bin all day.
Yeah, but I suppose we're back to that. It gets refereed differently.
Yeah.
And it means so much more. You have to, as a referee, have a tolerance for that emotion because it does mean so much more. And you see that by the way the players were reacting at the end of the game. I felt for a lot. Gareth O'Brien, Richard Whiting were two players that in particular stood out as being players that were in tears at the end of this one. I think in the Wolfpack had so many of the right intentions towards the back end of the game, but I don't think they had the right people on the pitch, because what they had on was people who were knackered, people who were determined for the cause, but people who were knackered. Adam Sidlow was on the pitch towards the end, and he took a carry in, and he just couldn't even run. And he put that much into it, and I feel sorry for him because he'd had a great season for them and been one of their absolute best all year long. Gareth O'Brien always got the ball when it was obvious he was getting the ball. He never appeared from behind a player. He never appeared at the side of the ruck you weren't expecting him on. So London read all of that like absolutely brilliantly. And I thought the thing that I thought would hurt London the most was was not having a second half back. So it was obvious.
Yeah, no, I wondered about this. I was thinking about this at lunchtime, and I wonder, is that a tactical innovation we might see in the future with sides where they are going to games where they need to defend more? Do they put a back rower in, lose that thing, and where you've got a super half who can cover both sides? I mean, Samet was on double shift because every play was going through him somehow. But where you've got that, do you put an extra back rower in, have that tackling ability and that extra beef in the carry? Could this be a shift that we see? I don't know. I think
they made a call, didn't they? Because they had young James Meadows who could have come in and played in the halves and played a good stint in the middle of the season, didn't he? And they could have played him there. And I was expecting them to, because I thought the way these two teams have played all season, defence isn't going to be what wins this. But actually, that decision and putting Jay Pitts in there and saying, all right, guys, this is the team we've been all year. That was our identity. This is the team we have to be today. This is our identity. And the way that that Danny Ward did that with this team just underlined his Coach of the Year situation absolutely massively. But yeah, I thought what was going to hurt them the most ended up benefiting them the most because of the way the game went, and they forced the game to be like that. They played with an intensity that Toronto struggled to match for large parts of it.
I genuinely
Blake Wallace
thought
wasn't good enough on his own to create because Josh McCrone was a fucking joke next to him.
And I thought after the first half that the missed chances and the not being able to make those crucial breaks in the first half was what was going to cost them. And I could see that happening. I've watched so many games like that over the years where sides been on top but not shown for it on the scoreboard. And I was convinced that was going to hurt them, but it didn't, because they just kept on bloody going and did not give up.
Yeah,
and it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I think so. I think credit to Toronto for the season they've had for 80% of what they do. 20% of what they do is actually a large part of why they are where they are, with Andy Ackers getting sin-binned, with the penalties that they gave away in kicking range.
Jake Emmett, again, what a complete bellend. Just every time just chirping off, just not accepting that he isn't that player, and he's not a player I enjoy watching.
Who's that? Sorry, I missed that.
Jake Emmett.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I don't know why. I don't know what role. I think if anyone else comes in, he's not there. Let's put it that way. Okay, but well done to London. Thoroughly deserved the win, and well done to Toronto on the way they conducted themselves after the game. Well done to the club, outside of some of the coaches' antics and some of the on-field antics, and the way they've conducted themselves all throughout, and in the build-up to this week, and then the post-game after the week as well. The fans and the owner and that sort of stuff, and the social media guys and all of that. Absolute credit to them, but credit to the Broncos for turning up and doing something special.
One thing I suppose we should touch on. Paul Rowley, do you think he will be there this time next year?
Well, look, if the Sky Sports commentators are talking about a rumour so openly on the coverage, then there's a lot of smoke there, isn't there?
I mean, I'd heard this a while about Brian McDermott. That could be where he was off.
We had, but I just think it's just whether it's Brian McDermott going in to be Brian Noble's role, or whether it's Brian McDermott going in to be Paul Rowley's role. I think was kind of what I wasn't sure about.
It's a shame we didn't. I mean, we had shame we didn't get the Brian Noble biased commentary, wasn't it? That was what was missing from that game.
I thought the commentary worked well, actually. I
thought it did really well, and I thought having the studio team worked quite well, actually.
Given how endless a couple of the video referrals were.
This is what I said at the time, wasn't it? I said that thank God we had a video referral without Stuart Cummins' dickhead comments every 5 seconds trying to justify its existence.
And then because
it's just
trying to justify why it wasn't given after he's told us it should be given.
I think that's definitely a penalty. Definitely a penalty.
You know what? I like his insight. I just hate his opinions. Okay.
I just think he's out of date. I think he's long past his usefulness, and they need to move him on.
Predictions.
I don't think he adds anything.
Predictions, Super Ruin Dream Team updates now. In the predictions, I went 1 out of 3, whereas Sarah, for the co-host, went 2 out of 3. But the competition is unassailable now. 143 for me, 139 for you guys. So we're both at roughly 2/3, or at 70%.
To be this
actually
close is quite impressive.
Yeah, but I can't be caught now with only 2. Actually, we could pick 3 games and I still couldn't be caught, could I? So
right.
No. Super Brew, John Bennett is top. I'm not sure that he can be caught now with 1 game left. Sam Rowlett wears the yellow cap. That gave me a great throwback to Series 1 of Super League Pod, where we couldn't decide whether Sam was a man or a woman.
What did we decide in the end? I can never remember.
We decided that he was a woman when he made it factually apparent that he was a man. But hopefully we might get to see Sam at the grand final next week, because obviously Sam's a Wire fan. Another Wire fan who is celebrating is Alan Bagley. He stays top of the Dream Team League, and it's pretty difficult to see him getting caught as well with 1 week left. So Alan's already been in touch, putting his t-shirt size order in. So that's great. For Alan to get in touch, because he's one of those names that we talk about every single week, but is not a keen game reviewer. So it'll be great to get a bit more. It's been great to get a bit more chat with Alan this week. Okay, that is it for those big games and the Mark Grant thrown in the middle too. We're now going to look back on other results from around the world of rugby league. Other results time now, sponsored by jkmartwork.com. Check out jkmartwork.com, where you can buy prints, canvases and more of James's stadium paintings. All UK Super League clubs are covered, and a couple of clubs outside Super League too, as well as football stadiums, cricket grounds and more. JKM Artwork can help you find the perfect gift for the sports fan in your life. And obviously Christmas is not a million miles away now that we're in October and the season is drawing to an end. In the Who Really Cared final,
the million no fucks given game.
Yeah, it finished, and to be honest, there were some fucks given, because both sides were able to pad out their playing squads to be able to put out field sides. And credit to Featherstone, who have hosted everything else, so they might as well host a final that they won as well. And it was 42 points to 10.
And we don't often say this, but credit to the RFL for doing the sensible thing and allowing the rules to be not broken but bent to allow this game to go ahead and